All right, we got a great interview for you guys today. You kidding me, dog? Look at this. Who's sitting next to me? Meghan McCain at Rebel headquarters. What in the world is going on? Anna Kasparian joins us for the interview. Makes sense because Anna and Meghan are actually co-starring in Meghan McCain. Now, it's all, of course, Raising McCain on Pivot. It's, of course, all about Meghan, but Anna's on 2 episodes, so that's kind of fun.
Our only double guest host. We loved her so much. Came back twice.
Doubling down on Anna.
It was so much fun. And there was a little bit, Meghan was worried a little bit that you would be upset that she was taking me away from TYT.
I did. Because we
And I
had
was.
some tweets. There was a man who, I don't think he's in here, and he was like, take care of our Anna. We love her. And I was like, what am I going to do? Like, take her out back and, like, get her wasted and leave her naked in, like, the alley?
Which she did.
Oh, interesting. But you got tape of that or no? If that's on Raising McCain, I think a lot of people are going to start
Those are the
watching it.
outtakes.
Okay. I mean, you could have put her in a Filner headlock and stuff. You never know. A lot of fun things.
But really, were you worried when she was there? What were you guys worried I was going to do to her? Infect her with my Republican disease?
No, with Anna, I have no fear of that whatsoever. No, we don't like it when Anna's away from the show because we like it when she's on the show. But for you, of course.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
So I want to ask you about the show. I want to ask you about your life. So a lot of people might not know all the different things that you've done. Interned for Saturday Night Live, interned for Newsweek, wrote for Daily Beast, worked at MSNBC. You went to my alma mater, Columbia. I went to law school there, not undergrad. You went undergrad, right?
Go Lions, undergrad, yep.
Yeah, I mean, really? Is there anyone who really thinks go Lions?
I say go Lions all the time, and every Columbia person's like, really, go Lions? Nobody does that.
Yeah, I mean, did you ever go to a single sporting event in Columbia?
No, I didn't go to one.
Of course not. Who would go? It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
Now, look, I remember when I was first applying to Columbia for undergrad, which I didn't get in, okay? So you got one up on me there. I asked my coach, and at the time they were like 0-193, their football team. And I was like, look, honorable mention, all county, middle linebacker, whatever. He's like, no, I won't recommend you even to Columbia.
You played football?
I played football, yeah.
Why am I not surprised? You've got very broad shoulders. That doesn't come across on the internet.
It doesn't?
You have very intense energy and very broad shoulders.
Thank you, I do.
I think the intense energy comes across.
Yeah, the intense energy comes across.
Just ask Dana Perino. Okay, so now that's a lot of stuff that you did. First of all, out of the different media organizations, all right, don't say Pivot because that's obvious, and you're working on Pivot.
Okay.
Like, which one was your favorite? Where did you have most fun? Go.
I'm not allowed to say Pivot?
No, you're not allowed to say Pivot because it's like, of course, you're working on Pivot now. You're gonna say Pivot. So after Pivot.
I love the Daily Beast. I went there like as a baby, basically right after my dad ran for president, and Tina Brown gave me a job, and I didn't know what to write about, and they were like, write about your life. And the first article I ever wrote that like went viral everywhere was talking about how the election ruined my dating life because I couldn't date Democrats because I was like, why didn't you vote for my dad? And then if Republicans that voted for my dad, I'd be like, do you have some kind of issue with my dad? Like, are you gonna be obsessed with him? And I was like, who am I supposed to date? Like, whatever. So, and that totally got like 1 million hits and all this crazy stuff.
Oh, really? That's pretty intense.
Did really well, yeah. I mean, this is years ago. It's like 5 years ago now, but I loved working for the Daily Beast.
So, I mean, you could have just dated libertarians because they don't really give a shit about anything. So they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, I'm against everything, so why not?
We actually talked on my show. We try and keep politics, as we said before, I try and keep politics out of my dating life if it's possible. But, it's so funny, everything with my dad was Syria. There's this guy that I was like hanging out with, and he was like bringing it up and being nasty about it. And I was like, lady boner killer. Like, really, like, I'm not into you anymore for bringing Syria up with this.
I'm not sure I want you to have a lady boner.
I have lady boners. That sounds awful.
Because it makes me feel kind of like so-so inside. I get. All right, fascinating. So, so what are you guys doing on Raising McCain? Talk to me about that.
Well, on the show, each episode has a theme, and the theme with Anna, one of them was feminism, one of them was binge, and we have a co-host, and we film it like a reality show, basically with cameras filming on the road, in the car, when we eat, when we drink, whatever, and we go around and we talk to people and try and discover an issue and try and get to the bottom of it. And our episode hasn't even aired, and it's controversial, Anna.
I know.
Go us.
So there's been some negative coverage of the feminism episode, and I think the feminism episode was really interesting because it really shows the difference between like radical second wave feminists and then the feminists of today. So basically women who believe in actual equality between men and women, they believe in the importance of men in society, they believe in the differences in femininity and masculinity, and women who like to be feminine and they like to flaunt that. and also believe in equality, right? And for some reason, like, there are a certain number of feminists that are against that. So, by the way, the episode hasn't even aired yet, and there were a number of publications, including like Wonket and Jezebel, that were criticizing it and basically saying like, oh, we're dumb, we don't know what we're talking about. The episode hasn't freaking aired yet, and it's just so funny to have feminist publications claiming that they're feminists and they're all about equality and, you know, the women's movement, and then all they do is they tear other women down. It's preemptive criticism. If they had already seen the episode and they had constructive criticism based on what they had seen, then I'd be open to listening to what they have to say. But they haven't seen shit, and all they're doing is talking shit. So that's the kind of stuff that I can't handle.
Regulating.
My thing too is, if they want to criticize the episode when they see it, it's a half hour long. Feel free to give us all the criticism you want, but you can't judge an entire episode based on, I think, a minute clip of us. My other thing is, I feel bad dragging Anna into my BS on the internet. People love to hate me, and now they're like, I used to like Anna Kasparian, now she's with Meghan McCain, so F her. And I'm like, okay, dragging Anna into my BS.
Well, just so you know, I deal with my own BS on a daily basis. So.
I believe that I have dragged you into a whirlwind of BS.
Yeah.
Okay, so
who are we all here to judge?
right. And Wonket criticizing someone on the Young Turks. I didn't see that coming.
Do they criticize you all the time?
No,
they criticize Cenk.
I had a beef with them recently because
What about?
they're in favor of corruption in politics.
Okay.
So like that's the one issue I totally agree with your dad on. In fact, I got to a point where I was so disillusioned with Obama that I was like, maybe if we elected John McCain back in 2008, he would have done everything else wrong and would be in the middle of a giant World War VIII. Okay, but we would have done campaign finance reform right, and that's the one thing that I think is the most important, and maybe it would have been the better way to go. Okay, I got so frustrated with Obama, I got to that point, right? Can you imagine thinking your dad might have been the way to go?
Coming out of your mouth. Is there anybody that still inspires you? I mean, I'm such a fan of this show. That's how Anna guest hosted my show. Is there anybody you're still a fan of anymore?
Oh, sure. And thank you for saying that. So Russ Feingold's a great guy. Now, I know he's out of politics. He lost the last election, but he's trying to get money out of politics. And of course, McCain-Feingold, my favorite piece of legislation ever,
yes.
right? So that's pretty big deal. And by the way, I voted for your dad in the 2000 primaries back when I was a Republican.
Right on.
So,
you were a Republican?
Yeah. Up until 2000.
Oh.
And Gore was the first Democrat I ever voted for. And if your dad had won the primary, I might still be a Republican. Well, probably not, but still. Okay. And so Alan Grayson's a great fighter in the House. Like people say, oh, he's crazy. No, he's not. He actually has gotten more bills passed than any other Democrat or Republican, because he finds a way to reach across the aisle and work with Republicans on things that the American people agree with, but the corporate establishment Republican and Democrats don't agree with. Elizabeth Warren's great in the Senate. So yeah, and look.
Who's your least favorite?
Oh, that's easy. Louis Gohmert. Okay,
Really?
Gohmert's the dumbest man in America.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if he's my least favorite. I mean, I'm amused by him. Like, I like that Gohmert comes out. He thinks that Obama is trying to re-establish the Ottoman Empire.
Do you mind me asking you one more question?
No, I love this.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
No, I'm just
this
curious.
is what I do normally
I'm
in
just
meetings.
curious. Do you like Rand Paul?
When he did the drone thing, I stood with Rand Paul, and then I immediately sat down afterwards. So yes, there are parts I like.
Do you think he could be president, or do you think he's going to run?
He's definitely going to run. No, he probably won't be president, but there's a huge libertarian streak in the Republican Party that is real and that is ascendant now. So in 2016, if they have a chance of winning, that's a good year for them. If they pick up momentum instead of losing momentum after 2016, they might even win in 2020. Okay, so yes, there's a strand of libertarianism that I love. You know, legalizing drugs, getting out of the wars, get out of my life, period, right? But Rand Paul, unfortunately, oftentimes is a hypocrite about that. He's like, get out of my life unless I'm inside your womb, in which case I'm pro-life and I'm going to tell you what to do with your body. So, well, why? What's your take on Rand Paul?
You know, I'm not a libertarian. I thought I was for a long time, but I do believe that there should be some government in some form. And then when he did that interview with Rachel Maddow, that infamous interview, I was kind of like, now I'm out. Like civil rights stuff, now I'm out. But I wanted to believe it, but I'm just not a Rand Paul supporter.
Yeah, and he takes it to an extreme. What's interesting about the libertarians is they're so far right that they meet with the communists. Like both the Marxists and the extreme libertarians think, oh, the government will just melt away.
Yeah.
And everybody will live in a utopia with no rules.
I had dinner with a guy that's a very strict libertarian. He's like, we need to govern ourselves. And I was like, sometimes I have issues taking out my own garbage. Like, literally. Like, I don't know if I should be governing my neighborhood.
I'll tell you who governs me, my wife. That's who governs me. And she needs to lay down the law, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. All right,
I know you're married. That's so weird.
I know, right?
You don't look old enough to be married.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
now all of
I
a sudden I
know.
love Meghan McCain.
You don't.
Come on the show every day.
I thought you were like, I'm not just kissing your ass. When she told me how old you were, are you making eyes? Are you like totally? I'm serious. I don't know. Whatever. I wouldn't think you were 40.
Oh, really? Yeah, what did I look like? 27, 28?
No, like 34 or something. I don't know.
I'll take 34 in a second. So, Raising McCain, tell me more about different episodes. We got the feminism one. It's actually starts Saturday at 10 o'clock. Okay, this Saturday,
On
10
Pivot.
p.m. on Pivot. Okay, everybody check it out. What are the other episodes?
We did an episode on millennial veterans that my brother co-hosted, which was really fun. We did the binge episode, which is about our generation binging on things, which I'm totally guilty of binging on entertainment. That's how I started watching you guys, because I was on the internet all night just clicking, watching shows.
Yes.
More episodes. We did Gay in America coming out, which was amazing, about young millennials coming out. It's all like blurring together. We did Citizenry, where we went to a food bank, and it was like the most hardest episode to film, because I felt really sort of just ignorant to how bad the hunger issue still is in America. You don't think about Americans going hungry. 1 in 6, 1 in 5 of them being children in America. I don't know. And I had this really intense conversation with the food worker there, and but it's a fun show. It's not all serious stuff.
No, it's a good combination. It reminds me of the Young Turks in a lot of ways. Like I'd love to go around the country doing shows like that. So I mean, it got me jazzed. I think it's a really great idea for a show.
Thank you.
And what was the other one you were on? It was a second.
So I was in the binge episode, and it mostly centered around millennials and the things that they binge on, including like technology, Adderall, alcohol, and even charity, which I didn't know about. But the one thing that I will say about the show is I was a little skeptical coming into it, right? I'm like, I don't know what this is going to be like. I want to try it out. Maybe it'll be fun. And you know, you go and you take about a week to film a single episode, because you got to do all these different interviews and travel and all that stuff. And it would go by so fast, because it felt like I was with the Young Turks. Like, it's a very similar environment where you can be yourself, you can be real. You know, I know you've mentioned this in other interviews, but like, Meghan gets to dress however she wants to dress. You know what I mean? There's no one telling her, hey, you need to be appropriate for the camera, you got to make sure you wear high heels and blah, blah, blah. Like, and you have real, authentic, candid conversations.
So there's no hijabs, nobody has to wear a headscarf? No. Okay.
No.
Much to the dismay.
We had
Yeah,
so
I'll-
much fun, though. I mean, it's weird because I've been watching you guys for so long, and when Anna came up as an idea for a guest host, we were like, oh, you know, it's such a good idea, everybody's such a big fan. And then when you came on, I was like, I really hope I like her. I'm going to be really disappointed. And now we're like girlfriends, and it's awesome. And I'm not going to take her away from you, Cenk, but I'm having my birthday in Vegas, and I was like, who is my top 10 people? And I was like, well, duh, Anna has to come now.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're going to
wow.
Vegas. I can't
That
freaking
sounds
wait.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't make your top 10. Whatever. Okay, I hear you.
You're married.
Okay. No. So married people not allowed in Vegas now. I thought that was the whole point of Vegas.
I don't know if married people should come to my birthday trip.
No,
I
probably
think it's
not.
a single
Probably
thing.
not. So the gay episode. So you're pro-gay.
Oh, super. Yeah, I'm pro marriage equality for a long time now.
Okay. And you think the Republican Party being anti-gay, that's going to work out for them, or perhaps that might not be a wise idea?
Yeah, it's working out real well for everybody right now. No, it's awful. It's awful. I just don't understand the aversion. I logically don't understand it, and then emotionally I don't understand it. One person, you can't say you don't know a gay person anymore, even if it's just on television. And the idea that in America, if you truly believe on the ideals this country was founded on, that one set of group of people should have different rights than another, I don't understand how you can get behind it.
Do you think the Republican Party's ever going to change their opinion on that issue, or do you think they're just going to be stubborn about it?
I think they've already lost. It's like an issue they've already lost, and they're going to have to come to terms with it. And they have to come to terms with it. Otherwise, the party's really going to start disintegrating for other reasons as well. But you can't ask young voters to choose between their party and their gay friends.
So for a long time on the show, I would ask anybody who had come out of college recently, if they had seen girls hook up at parties, and the answer was like 10 out of 10. Okay, now you went to Columbia, so that might be the one college where it did that. Okay, but like, isn't that a common place now, like to some degree among
like
young
experimenting
folks?
with
Experimenting,
bisexuality?
yeah.
Are you asking me that?
No,
Okay.
I'm asking like when you were at college, did you see that all the time?
I mean, not all the time, but yeah, of course you see girls making out with girls for, I don't know, shock value or because they're actually experimenting with their sexuality, yeah.
Right, so like the point I'm making is like for young people, isn't it like, what, anti-gay? Are you serious? It seems like it's almost a disqualifier because you're from a different time.
Yeah, and I just don't understand, even if you're just watching television, there's really not, you can't name many entertainment shows that don't at least have some kind of gay storyline or something, but I think it's just fear. I think there are a lot of people are still really scared, and there's a lot of people, I get it. I grew up going to Baptist church. You go to church, you feel like you're gonna go to hell. If you support your gay friends, I know what that feeling is like, but I also know what I believe in my heart, so I don't think God judges, and I don't think God chooses.
Guys, religion is so powerful, right? Because I have friends who grew up in Turkey, and they're now agnostics or atheists, and they don't believe, etc. But they're still a little scared because for so many years it gets drilled into your head: if you do the wrong thing, you are going to go to hell.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're like, geez, but what if Satan, like, with a pitchfork and it's really hot, and like I can't even deal without air conditioning? It's going to be miserable. So it's funny how it suppresses you. It's also very tragic. And speaking of tragic, when I was asking about the bisexual thing, I noticed Anna being like, "Oh my God, don't ask her if she's bisexual. Don't ask her."
You can ask me if I'm bisexual.
Oh, I can't? Oh, well, you just stepped into it. All right, go ahead.
I'm not bisexual.
Oh, okay.
People ask me that all the time.
Oh, really?
And I get hit on by women more often than you would think. Isn't
Really?
that? I think it's
No, I
because
would
I'm
think it's
for
funny.
marriage equality or whatever. I don't know, but I get hit on by women like not infrequently.
So a woman comes up to me and is like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Sometimes I'll think they're just being friendly, and then I'm like, oh, like, and then she's like, can I get your number? And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm straight, like, whatever. I mean, I'm flattered. Anybody that wants to hit on me, like, game on, it's fine, but I'm not bisexual. I'm sorry.
Well, that's awesome. I think it's really flattering. Like, no guys ever hit on me. They're like,
Ever?
yeah, ever. They're like, no.
Never?
Never. Okay. No, I lived in South Beach on Lincoln Road, like maybe the gayest place in America. And they're like, every day, like 80 guys walk by. No.
You even lived in West Hollywood and that never
And I lived in West Hollywood. Nothing.
Never once in your whole life?
No, my best friend lives in Chelsea. Nothing. Nothing. I have the anti-gator. Like, people look at me and go, okay.
Well, you just seem a little straight. I mean,
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I haven't run into anyone interested in the bear community. I don't know what it is. Okay. All right. So Raising McCain on Saturday, 10 o'clock. Everybody check it out on Pivot. Anna's on a couple of the shows. It's going to be awesome. Before we leave, one last thing. Give me a fun story from Saturday Night Live when you were interning there.
I was there when Ashley Simpson was caught lip syncing.
Oh,
and
drunk.
I know she freaked out and she started kicking her door in her dressing room and everyone was going crazy and like they had to like handle it and it was just like that is the memory that always sticks out in my mind because it was like such a shit show backstage and I was there as a 20-year-old to watch it all happen.
Did they send you in like, all right, calm Ashley down?
No, her mom was calming her down. And it's weird now because we're like the same age and she's obviously like in the media and I'm always worried she's gonna be like, Meghan McCain, stop effing talking about the worst moment in my life, please.
Oh, that's really interesting. I would have thought you were much younger than Jessica Simpson. That's really interesting. So, can you call any of those guys that were on SNL? I don't know who was on back then.
It's a different group of comedians now. You know, the changeover rate. My season was 04, 05, and not a lot of the people were still on. Like Will Forte was. Shout out to Will Forte. He was the nicest cast member there. He was always really cool to me.
Is he making it to your birthday party in Vegas?
No.
Did he make the top 10?
I was so young then. It's like 10 years ago.
So can you call them up and be like, hey, Will, I'm in New York. Come on, let's go. Let's
well,
grab
I'm
some
gonna
dinner.
only if I be like, you know, I'm gonna bring my friend Cenk and Anna, and we're gonna party at the after party with his wife. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know anyone there anymore.
Okay, all right, that's badass. All right, listen, thanks for coming on the Young Turks. We
thank you.
appreciate it.
And really, I'm so like geeked out to be here. I'm like such a child of the internet. I've spent so many years in fucking hotel rooms watching you guys with room service. So it's awesome to be here, and I'm gonna keep watching. And Anna's my girl. And thank you.
Thank you so much. That's really, really sweet to say. All right, everybody check out Raising McCain, Pivot, Saturday, 10 o'clock. Have I made that clear enough?